Hello and welcome to the DrivingMaul Maori All Blacks versus Lions preview. We've had both the teams announced, and the Lions announced their team earlier than I thought, so if I've been able to get on here earlier than expected. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, and please, I'm always up for good rugby chat, so please do feel free to comment below or on Twitter, either way. And if you're watching on YouTube, you know you can always hit the thumbs up whenever you like during the video. Thanks a lot. So let's run through the two teams that we have for this weekend, starting off with the home side. So the Maori All Blacks, for those of you that perhaps don't know them so well, it's kind of about the only team that's allowed to be picked along racial lines globally, and hence sometimes haven't been allowed to play in South Africa. They're a team that went on a very good run until about a couple of years ago. They went to like a 3 or 4 year run with no losses, and there were calls at the time, or there was talk at the time as to where would they rank within first choice national sides, never mind second choice ones, and they were probably considered them to be a top 4, top 5 team internationally. They've had a few results since then that haven't gone their way, but what we've seen last year in Chicago and also this year is that some of the fringe All Blacks are released to play in this team. So players like Rieko Ioane, who was picked, who was picked in the All Blacks extended squad, has been released to play in this game, because let's be honest, he's not a first choice starter for the All Blacks. So the team, we all came into this squad announcement knowing that the backs were going to be electric, and we go. So from 9 outwards, we've got Kia Barlow, who is definitely sort of All Black international quality scrum half. Damien McKenzie, who has made his name at 15, but played provincial rugby at 10 before moving up in Super Rugby, and is seen as the heir apparent to not Dan Carter. Rewind. To Cruden at the Chiefs. So, and clearly I think the All Blacks see him more as a 10 of the future rather than a 15, with Jody Barrett looking at in that sort of 15 role more likely. Rieko Ioane, who we've mentioned. Charlie Ngatai, who would be a much more capped All Black already if it wasn't for concussion issues at the wrong time, so which has stopped him from getting more caps last year. He's just coming back from those concussion issues now. Matt Proctor, very good at outside centre. Nay Milner-Skudder obviously came onto the scene during the Rugby World Cup as Rugby World Cup winner with the All Blacks, again coming back from injury. And then James Lowe at fullback, normally plays on the wing and is moving off to Leinster next season, but is a stunning finisher at Super Rugby level. That set of backs is a set of backs that would walk into, or would definitely not disgrace any international side globally. So that is definitely an international standard backs. In the forward, Hames, Dixon, May front row, Wheeler and Franklin in the engine room, Akira Ioane, Elliot Dixon and Liam Messam as the Lucies. So Liam Messam obviously plays for Japan normally, but he's not playing in this window, and is playing for the Maori All Blacks instead. So again, a number of players there of international class, perhaps not as strong as the backs, but still a decent scrum. Perhaps lacking a 9, so perhaps with Dixon, perhaps lacking from a 7 with Elliot Dixon and Akira Ioane there. But there's plenty of ball carrying, and perhaps the front row isn't as strong as it could be. But otherwise, that's a solid, very good pack as well. This side, at least the starting 15, I'd say is international level. The bench is a little bit weaker. Like I said, most of the first 15, you could see in an All Blacks jersey, or they already have been in an All Blacks jersey. If you look at the bench, it's not quite up to that standard. So there is a question mark as to how things go after sort of the hour mark, when the Lions will be able to bring on quality. The quality coming off the Maori All Blacks bench may be a bit of a step down. Sorry, just going to plug in some power. So, as I say, a very exciting back line and a front eight that will be able to give them some ball as well. If we look at the Lions side, now we were talking about this side as being basically the test. Basically being the test dress rehearsal, or that's how I've described it previously. And there are a few choices here that are a bit surprising if you put that label on the side. Up front, we have Vunipola, George and Furlong, which I think everyone is expecting to start the test matches. In the injury room, Mario Itoje and George Chris. I think a lot of us are expecting Alwyn Jones to be in there instead of Itoje, and Itoje coming off the bench. So perhaps we'll maybe have to rethink our thoughts there, or maybe after Alwyn Jones played in the midweek game, he's getting rested. Mahoney is the captain with O'Brien and Filatau. And yes, that could very well be the starting set of Lucy's. A bunch of us thought that CJ Stander might be the 6, but perhaps this gives it a bit more balance. And obviously with Warburton coming back from injury, Sean O'Brien is in the driving seat there, and Warburton probably hasn't got enough rugby in his legs come the test match. We then see Murray and Sexton. Bit of a surprise to see Sexton in there. I think we all thought Farrell would be, but Farrell obviously got some game time midweek. Teo and Jonathan Davis rejoin together. Obviously Jonathan Davis must have come back from his return to play protocols fine to be in midfield. So amongst that, Sexton's the only one there we thought probably will get replaced by Farrell come test day. Anthony Watson, Lee Halfpenny and George North are the outside backs. Interestingly, Anthony Watson in the 14 jersey, which would mean from the test match anyway, he'll be opposite Julian Surveyor. If they keep with that, perhaps George North would go on the right wing to deal with that, but we'll have to see. So apart from Itoje and Sexton, that looks a lot like the test side to me. And I mean, not that Itoje is by any means a step down. I just thought we'd have a bit more leadership with Alwyn Jones up there. On the bench, Owen McGrath and Kyle Sinclair. Now, the thing that stands out here is this: the first, up until now, the front row has been picked as a block, and we've had 3 sets of front row forwards, and he's never mixed them up. This is the first time he's mixed them up, because Owens and McGrath have been playing with Cole up until now. Now Cole's dropped out and Kyle Sinclair's come in, perhaps giving us an indication that Kyle Sinclair is going to be the test bench rather than Dan Coles there. Ian Henderson as the lock on the bench. I don't think he'll be there come test match. Warburton is the Lucy on the bench. We'll have to see how he goes with the amount of rugby in his legs. Maybe it'll be him or CJ Stander. I think will be at that spot. Greg Laidlaw. I think everyone is expecting Webb to play in that role for the test matches, but he started on Tuesday, so perhaps it's about managing his recovery in line for the test matches. Farrell, again, he played midweek, and then Elliot Daly is the outside back on the bench. Now, Elliot Daly, obviously, he can play at fullback, he can play on the wing, he can play in the 13 jersey, so a very good bench player. So I think there's a good chance he'll be there come test matches. So, yes, this is the test side, bar about 2 of the players, 2 or maybe 3 of the players who are on 15, and again, maybe 3 or so of the players on the bench as well. So this is going to be a cracking game. In the run-up to the test series in New Zealand, they have been referring to this game as the 4th test for ages. I found it quite amusing when a lot of people talked about the Crusaders game as being the 4th test. No, this is a much bigger test than last weekend. It's going to be a very different... it's not necessarily going to be the same challenge that the All Blacks will be, because the All Blacks, if we look at their selection against Samoa, they've got Ardie Surveyor at 8, and what a time to go absolutely blank as to who the open side is. But basically they've got 2 open sides, whereas this side we don't have that. There isn't a natural 7 in this team. So it's going to be a different test to playing the All Blacks but it's still going to be a test level game for certainty. And how do I see it going? It's going to be very tight. If the Maori All Blacks backs get space and get ball to play with, they are going to be extremely difficult to contain. And so to win this game, the Lions are going to, just like most of us expect they have to against the All Blacks, score 3 or so tries to keep pace. And I'm not sure that I can see them doing that quite yet with their attack. The attack did take a step forward against the Highlanders, but the defence also took a little bit of a step back as the Highlanders showed us how to create more space in that rush against that rush defence. So I think we'll see the Maori All Blacks taking a leaf out of their book and standing a little bit deeper to give themselves a bit more time against that rush defence. And I'm going to back the Maori All Blacks to win this one, probably by a single score, so by about 7 points. It should be an absolute cracker in Rotorua. I'm going to be watching it at Gab's Beer Festival in Auckland. So if you're looking for somewhere to watch it, head on down there. It should be a cracking evening. I will also then be live on YouTube Live straight after the game from the Beer Festival with the Pen from Scotland, who is a great rugby pundit, and also with Rugby Numbers from Wellington. So a Kiwi and a Scot to give you our reaction to the game. Say it should be an absolute cracker. This is one not to miss. That's, I guess, time to wrap up. So please, if you've enjoyed this, please share it with your friends. Give it the old thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. As I say, I'm always up for a good rugby chat, so please do put comments below. And you can always sign up for my newsletter. Link above on Twitter, down below on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. That's my preview of the game. I'll be back tomorrow giving you a weather watch of the for the game. And also, I think I will also give you a who are the All Blacks and the Maoris, because the image of the teams is very different in the UK to New Zealand, and I think it'll be good to explain all that tomorrow. So catch you tomorrow for that, and have a great night.